So now we go into the Secretary of State, and I have to say, this is the only thing that has been better since COVID, is that you can make an appointment, go to the Secretary of State, get right in, get it done, and not sit in here for freaking hours, which was the practice before. So anyway, let's do this. Well, that wasn't what I had hoped for, but I guess it is what it is. I didn't realize my brother gave me the title. It says salvage rebuildable. And so I guess I gotta like get the truck inspected and stuff in order for them to pass that. So I gotta go through this process, which I wasn't expecting, but I guess another bump in the road. And I mean, he gave me the truck, so what do you want for nothing? Your money back? Anyway, on to the next phase. So we got to fill out some forms. We got to get a hold of a local law enforcement. I guess there's a specific officer who does this stuff, and see if we can get it legal. Fun, fun, fun. What a show. I'm here to tell you what. So I filled out the forms that they gave me earlier, and I contacted law enforcement in my area, who came and inspected the truck and then said, oh, well, you need something else, something that I can't do. It needs a mechanic's certification here on it. And I said, well, I am a licensed mechanic. So I filled out the form appropriately with my legal mechanic's license number and information, and did all that. And then I went back to the Secretary of State and made another appointment. Thank God, that new system. I mean, same day, able to make a second appointment. Amazing. Anyway, gave them the paperwork again, all the information showing everything. And, you know, they're like, oh, well, an officer needs to inspect it. I said an officer was out. He looked at it. He said the truck was fine. And they're like, well, he needs to give you this other form, this other piece of paper. And I said, well, he didn't have any other forms. And they're like, oh, well, he needs one of these. And so I'm like, well, he didn't have it. I don't know where to get it. You don't provide it. They claim they don't provide it. So anyway, frustrating. So, do you lie? Do you tell them that it was like an abandoned vehicle and you need a title? Because, you know, I've gone through that program and it's not difficult at all. It's one piece of paper. It's having the officer come and run the VIN number and make sure it's not stolen, and you're done. I think that our government systems are so ridiculous sometimes. Certain things like this are just crazy. I understand the vehicle needs to be safe, blah, blah, blah. I believe it is. I wouldn't get in it or put my family in it if I didn't think it was. So, anyway, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So now, oh yeah, also I'm like, well, what entity needs to inspect it? Like who? So who can I call, right? I said, because I talked to this officer and another officer, and this is the information I was given, and you know, now they're like, well, I don't know, you know, we just heard it's so-and-so. And I'm like, well, do you have that person's name and that actual number? And they're like, no, it's somebody from this office. And I'm like, okay, well, I call that office and they say they don't do it. So frustrating. So frustrating. Anyway, I guess we're going to make some more phone calls, and hopefully we get a hold of the right person, and I guess we'll put that number in a safe and lock it up and hold on to it. Heaven forbid we ever need it again. You know it's a good parts run when you have to use the winch on the Tacoma to pull the vehicle out of the trees that you're going to take all the front end parts off of. But it's coming out. So yesterday was a good day for the Sonoma here. We got a little trip to a high school friend's. I still had her GMC Jimmy from back in the day, tucked behind her parents' house, and I was able to pick up some parts off it. So we got a straight front bumper with the valance on it. My front shock showed up. I was able to get some mirrors, the Blazer style mirrors, which is super cool. And then the correct era grill. They actually had an extra set of taillights. So I got the optional one with the chrome trim or without chrome trim. The work truck probably would have came without chrome trim, but I grabbed the other ones because I thought maybe with the wheel with the chrome or polished aluminum lip, maybe we want to add a little pop of something in the back. I'm not sure. The back bumper on the truck was twisted. Other words, I would have grabbed the back bumper. I'm still not sold on the roll pan idea. This one especially doesn't fit the truck even close, so not sure what I'm going to do there. I was able to grab the hood release cable from it and then the stuff, so pretty excited about all that. Keep plugging away at trying to get the look of it dialed in, while on the backside trying to deal with the title issue. Yeah, I don't know. I got some calls in. I'm waiting on some return calls. Hopefully somebody can get me in touch with the right person and we'll get the title thing sorted out. But in the meantime, might as well keep tinkering on it so it's ready to go when I get the title done. Just playing with the Blazer back bumper I picked up earlier today from my buddy Scott, and trying to get that mounted up here. Thinking I like that look a lot better than the roll pan look. Giving it more of that whole shop truck theme. I think this is going to work out really well. Looking better already. Stock taillights to get rid of those goofy Altezza looking things. Got the Blazer bumper mounted up, and we'll get that scuffed and shot black. Now it's time to go play with the front. Well, after Chris figures out the tailgate. All right, so just converting the front end, and like usual, I kind of got ahead of myself and forgot to start videoing. But the bumper, just 2 carriage bolts here, nuts on the back, and then there's a brace that goes from the outer corner into the frame. And I was able to just undo the frame brace end on both ends and bring it with the bumper when I swap the bumper over. I did stop by the hardware store, get some new carriage bolts for the chrome ones. I did have to cut the ones off of the parts Blazer that I got this from, or Jimmy. Got all the front parts from a GMC Jimmy, which is fine because this truck is actually a GMC. So, but yeah, this lower filler piece goes in. There's a lot of screws for what seems like a pretty chintzy little piece of metal, but 10 millimeter headed screw here, and then there's one that runs vertically up through the bottom here in the corner. If you have the newer like 91 to 94 style, there's actually like a double plastic headed clip that goes there that locks the bottom of the newer grills in. This actually has like a metal, one of the nut plates that slips on with the nut on it, J nut I think they're called, and then the bolt goes into that. So there's 2 there, and then there's one here, one here, one here, and then the 2 more at the other end. So, yeah, 7 bolts seems like overkill for a chintzy little piece of tin, but it is what it is. Then, thankfully, this was the older style, and it had the plastic insert still in the core support. So the old school grills mounted in, they screw into a plastic insert there, and then it has like, again, one of these little J nuts here, and one here, and then up here, and there's supposed to be another one of these square plastic inserts here for this corner, but the headlight bezel that I got is going to be missing one because I don't have that. but no big deal. Yeah. Also, I went to the like help section of the auto parts store, the local Advanced Auto Parts, and tried to get the headlight adjustment things. Those are the chintziest plastic junk I've ever used in my life. If you can find like an OEM supplier or a higher end one, but the ones in the blue help package from Advanced Auto Parts sucked. I broke one as soon as I tried snapping it into place. The other one I was very, very ginger with trying to get it there. So yeah, don't make the mistake I did there. Other things trying to do is converting over. I picked up these Wagner bright light. They're supposed to be like 30% brighter than your stock headlight or something. I really don't like the aftermarket LED look, and the ones that look factory are very, very expensive. And for a truck that's probably not going to see any nighttime driving, like hardly if any, for 17 bucks a piece at the local parts store, I figured these would be dandy enough for what I'm trying to do. So yeah, anyway, then I got the hood cable replaced. Those are pretty simple. They just hook onto here. The cable lifts out of its spot here, and then basically it's just a matter of unthreading it where it loops through and pulls through the firewall. There was a couple of bolts holding up to the bottom of the dashboard, so it was literally like pull those 2 bolts down, pull it out, feed the new one through. Not a big deal. Just make sure you clip it back in where it goes on all those. Yeah. We're getting there. We're making headway. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a few pictures. This thing looks really cool. Sitting next to my Tacoma, which has 40-inch tires on it. Like the hood of this truck isn't even up to the top of the tire on the Tacoma, which is funny. They look like quite a pair out here, but just plugging away, making some more progress. Super excited to just get it titled. The other thing we did was swap for some OEM taillights and a Blazer style rear bumper. Now this bumper is silver painted, not chrome, just because that's what I could find in the parts truck available. So in order to mount this, and different guys have different ways, I actually took the original bracket. It had like a corner bracket coming out to the corner, which we cut off, unbolted. And then I took the original bracket, which angled up further here, but it was going to be on the inside of the frame, and it didn't even extend far enough to catch the first bolt hole where I needed it. So I cut a slit in it. I welded the Blazer bracket to the frame, and then I had these corner gusset pieces from some previous fabrication projects, and I welded one of those in on either side. So I got to paint that yet. You can also see the license plate light just hanging there from the original. And the Blazer license plate light mounted up through on top. Unfortunately, its mounting location is rusted away and gone. So I'm going to attempt to put an aftermarket light in the bumper up there for the license plate light. So what else have I done? Steel wooled. There was a thick layer of funk on the windows and the windshield, the mirrors that I got. So I did get the Blazer style, the smaller rectangular mirror, which I really like the look of. So that's pretty cool. And this whole project is like on the cheap, right? Like, so I just gave this the finest coat of Rust-Oleum Auto Black Gloss paint. And next we're gonna hit up the wiper arms. Whoever had the truck before, this was painted with like a rubber tar almost and like a brush. It was really nasty looking, did not mesh well with the look of the truck whatsoever. So hopefully that'll clean that up some. And then yeah, we got my daughter's friend working on some door logos for the truck. The goal is to logo it in such a way that it looks like it's from the 90s, right? Because that was the era of these trucks. And when I had my S-10, my original orange S-10. So I'm trying to get a Turbo's Toy Box logo that is somewhat retro and gives us that 90s vibe, so to speak. So in the meantime, I picked up some Scotch-Brite and some Comet cleaner, some sandpaper, and I think we're gonna go to work on the Fotina project. So just noticed the hood looks like it was white underneath. The doors, the cab I think is gold. You can tell from the door jambs. I don't know if both doors were gold at some point or not. The bed, I think, or at least the gas door, was blue. Now I don't know if the whole bed, maybe. Yeah, I think the whole bed was blue at some point. So it'll be interesting to see what colors come out as we sand through some of the edges and highlight. And I think that'll be part of the truck's charm. I really dig that look. I think it's a good way to have a lot of fun on the cheap. And complete. So much better. Huge fan of this look. I think that looks great. The air dam, the bumper, the correct grille, the headlights fit in the opening properly. Stock headlights. I think this is definitely a win.